y'all. I want to do another little video. I know I said I was going to be more vigilant on doing them, but as you know, life comes up and shit happens, right? So let's chat, which it's not like I don't do that all the time and talking to myself, but this is for one for my books. So let me turn this away. I don't want nobody to see my altar. Okay, so let's go and get this straight. So the last time I went and I had checked in, supposed to be meeting with the therapist doing my EDMR to get more into my PTSD and all. I'm trying to understand how things play out far as in life and reoccurring things if you don't learn the lesson, right? So let me light me one of these. So with the EDMR, we did the first phase in treatment of it, and she asked me, it would go back to childhood. And I'm thinking, I'm not considering my teenage years, and because I felt like I worked through it, um, somewhat, and everything else I just put in, I describe it as a red door in my mind that I choose not to want to deal with, like the murder of my brother. Put it in there. Went through a string of depression, and far as for black women or women of color, whatever you choose to describe it as, I had my daughter. My brother was murdered when she was about a month old. So going through that, and on top of that, not realizing, but going through life, adjusting. I had my daughter at 19, and knew my daughter's father since from my about 13 on up. So with all that being said, she asked that. I said no. So far, like nothing. I'm trying to, focus. Was it any arguments with my mother and father, when they were married and things like that? And I'm like, no. Like I'm thinking of my grandfather and the land that he had when he moved from Oklahoma. Well, he took my mother from came to claimed it back then kidnap. It would be called kidnapping now, but back then, women didn't really kind of have rights, and especially first with black people, they really didn't like pay attention. So it was more so to give my mother a better life because as a black woman growing up in, I don't know, 1940s, maybe earlier, or 1950s era, where they really listened to. So to give my mother a better life, my grandfather had land. It wrapped around from the street. So he had one house to set around. And you could drive around the U, and it said and it was a house on another side, and you could literally walk from this house all the way to the front house. And then there was everybody else's houses. And, this was in the area before Las Vegas was being built up. It's called 4 Mile because it was 4 miles from town. So all those things, she tells me, the things that will come up, it may come up in little triggers and remnants. So as things start to come up, it's for my assault. With all these TI and stuff going on, your mind will start to process things as you can. When it happened, I was about 14, 15. Yeah, I'm gonna say 14 because I don't want to say 13 because it'll be a bit more triggering for me. And I went with a friend, and the friend put me in a compromising situation. And it was like, say, my brothers take us somewhere, we go to the movies. So this was supposed to be a chaperone, and she tells me, like, she likes the guy and she wants to go. We're just gonna go hang out. Like, okay, that turns up not to be the situation. These things are starting to come back far as for me. The trust issues, because I don't even trust people like that. I don't even like to fuck with people like that. Um, the therapist tells me, all these things are normal because your mind can only process it when you're ready for it. She describes it no different than a Vietnam veteran. Or she went to take a class, and they're they're doing the seminar, and the guy, he gets up to speak, and they're saying, as you go, and when you are ready for it in your life to deal with it, that's when you're going to deal with it. She spoke of a veteran. um, he was fine. He retired, was still, working in some form of capacity in the service. But once he fully stepped out and retired, the dreams or nightmares, terrors started coming back. They started triggering him, let alone, if you have a partner, how that could be. And he's old, in like his 70s, 80s. So imagine trying to deal and to cope with that, all that. And that leads me to me. So I'm trying to adjust and to cope. And where I'm living at is in making the best of the situation and taking care of my mom, right? Not focusing on the money, but focusing on what's good for me in my life and where it is that I'm trying to go. And realizing little common things in life that other people chose to ignore, they're just now starting to realize. I remember being in kindergarten, like I said, we learned our colors, and I didn't understand why are they calling us black and we're brown. I don't understand that. On top of me tracing my lineage and my family history, and I love history. And my mother, she was one of those black moms that made sure, you watched Roots, Martin Luther King every year, Shaka Zulu, Queen. You knew the history, you understood. So psychologically, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at how all these things could be, like Queen as an example. How her mother was a slave, her father was a slave master. Slavery is over. She can't fit in with the white people. She passes, she'll get killed. She can't fit in with the black people because they feel like she's privileged because she's as light skinned. Um, I had to deal with this, having to make sure I reel it in because my daughter is lighter complexion, as far as in color is how that is. Whatever. That's a whole nother subject. But with all of this going and reeling in, the world starting back up, working on me and the energy, and if anyone knows about metaphysics, alchemy, energy, spiritualism, nothing doesn't die, it just transfers. Um, so I think I kind of manifest this job that I wanted, and I can get cute little clothes, and I can work. I can also help with my mother and still run my household, and also be a parent because I'm raising my child on my own, which is okay. Um, because everybody has their own issues. And as my mom says, you can't get blood from a turnip. So I'm going to go ahead and live and be. So I start this week on Tuesday working at a cute little clothing store. I get to count money and pick out clothes and put clothes away. So it's a pay cut, you know, but living here in Las Vegas, if you know how everything's going, um, it's a lot of shenanigans and whatnot that's going on in politics and this money shifting around. If you understand and if you catch my drift, even down to the celebrity entertainment industry, Las Vegas really didn't stop. It seemed like Hollywood came here. But for me and my counseling, it's all going better. Um, Putting things into form and into shape. Even trying to manifest a way to work for myself and how to get it on the books legit wise, and also work a standardized income to formulate what I need to do to, completely disassociate. Because if you understand the system of this, somebody's running out of funds and they're dishing out funds left and right here between the stimuluses and whatnot. But I'm not complaining. And the unemployment, which I'm not complaining, you know, get it how you get it. Um, but make sure it works for you and you are not just being careless, and just spending up money uselessly. And instead of cooking, you're ordering, you know, make sure you're drinking your water, getting your sun, meditating, getting that spiritual and that mind right, because that shit is really important. So I need to do a bit more better. But I like this because hopefully don't nobody know me and don't nobody find me. But if you like to tune into me, then that's cool. But yeah, I'm really just gonna be like using this maybe like to talk to myself because um people in life they're really fucked up. It's like real has become fake and fake has become real. Like with my situation as far as on me dealing with people, I don't even like to deal with girls. So where I'm living at now, um, you have fuck niggas that I'm sorry, fuck people that want to come and you got a whole little situation, but you try to come over here. One thing that this whole pandemic thing proved is that people are with people that they really don't want to be with, but they're with them for financial gain, and that is using. But that's none of my business. I'm just gonna stay in my lane and stay on my vision board and try to generate my wealth and whatnot. And I hope everybody else is doing the same. And I'm gonna end it there because it is what it is. So we just gonna call it what it is. Blippity blippity, and we out.